Chef EJ says scene successfully switched to live.
Yo. See you, Bob. What up? Jesus. Oh. Time is over now.
Doug 714 says hi Jay.
What up, Doug?
Mommy Give Me Milk says Jesus he's coming.
Jesus?
Jimmy Opa says Krispy Kreme has 10 dozen donuts.
It's too far away. It's an hour drive. It's not worth it. It's an hour each way. So it's 2 hours. So it'll cost me like maybe $7 in gas.
MBCZR says Krispy Kreme.
What's up, Steph? How's work been going? Been going swell? Date's been going good? Do you find that one guy, or are you still trying to find that one guy?
Restreambot says YouTube. Botrix has correctly joined the channel.
Botrix. Thank you, Botrix.
Doug 714 says rainy day in New York.
No, we're not in New York. If I lived in New York, I'd be getting laid a lot more. That's for sure.
MR Peggy Hill says hi Warcraft Andy. I'm here for you.
What's up, Peggy Hill? Distinguished Peggy Hill.
MBCZR says IDK what are trying to ask me. Mommy Give
How's
Me
the
Milk
dates?
says are you still
How's
trying
work?
to find the one guy for you Cheffy?
How's the dates? How's it work? How's life? A little bit, right? How's the chat? Chat, what are you guys doing? You guys been dating? Everyone been dating, or just that fair? That's it. Except the only one who's actively dating. Anyone else?
MBCZR says why don't you ever ask anyone else these questions?
I just did. I literally just did. Before you even asked, I literally just asked it. You volunteered the information before about going on dates. So yeah. I'm just asking for an update. That's it.
MBCZR says never before today though.
Jesus. Because no one else like wants to share that they're going to go on a date. No one says they're going on a date. You're only you. That's why. You're the only one who announces to chat, I'm going on a date. So yeah, I'm asking for an update.
MR Peggy Hill says I got something in the mail today from MBC today.
Really?
MBCZR says okay bye I am going on a date.
Enjoy your date. Get some good ice cream.
MR Peggy Hill says it's to renew my car registration.
Oh, okay. I wish there was a way to like have an auto pay. Is there like an auto pay car registration? I wonder why they never
Mommy
enabled
Give Me
that.
Milk says any lucky guys in your life Cheffy?
No. Oh, no. I was gonna say the guy last night, but that's not romantic. That's more like business opportunity.
MR Peggy Hill says but I thought of MBC when I got the mail.
Oh, okay. That's good, I guess. Just grabbing some Asian food. Having an Asian I'm in the mood to consume Asian food.
Bodziller says I asked my gay cousin if watching porn for a dude's coca size and he said you def gauge ka.
You just don't understand the concept behind the blog.
Jimmy Opa says Chinese buffet when.
No, I don't like buffets. It's unhealthy. Are unhealthy. But I will
Jimmy
go
Opa
to
says
Amish.
I asked my gay cousin if watching porn for a dude's coca size and he said you def gauge ka.
I will go to Amish buffet, but I would prefer to go with someone. Ideally, Milky will be great to go with, but I don't know if he's gonna be too busy to
Jimmy
hang
Opa
out.
says Yabog is straight so he wouldn't understand
I mean,
Work_day says I'm sick today. Gonna take a few days off.
okay.
MR
Feel better.
Pennyville says it's okay to be gay, Andy. We'll treat you the same.
I'm not gay though. I'm far from it.
Work_day says I hate being sick.
What kind of sickness, if you don't mind me asking? We have doctors and nurses in chat, by the way.
Work_day says messes with all the momentum.
Yes, true.
Work_day says stomach flu.
Oh. Do you know how you got it? Was it just eating like food poisoning, or like was it get food poisoning, or was it a stomach bug or something like that? What the hell happened to this guy's car? Definitely got hit, that's for sure.
Work_day says been eating out a lot lately. I dunno. Work_day says usually my diet is really clean.
The thing is that when you eat out, it's like, is it really clean though?
Work_day says why aren't you at work?
I'm on lunch right now. I'll get an hour lunch, luckily. I think hour lunches should be like standard, honestly, but it's not. I think hour lunch is like definitely much healthier than a 30-minute lunch.
Jimmy Opa says get some pork fry rice.
Pork fried rice? I already got food. Oh, I'm picking it up right now. Pad Thai.
Work_day says lol.
Lol. Pad Thai chicken with Philadelphia rolls. Let me pick it up and we'll eat in the car. There's like no parking. There's one spot right here actually.
Work_day says how much money do you spend a day eating out?
I don't try to eat out every day. I didn't have enough time to cook last night. Oh wait, I have turkey at home, obviously, but I need like a meal. Like a
Jimmy
sit-down meal.
Opa says Andy is rich. I'm eating oatmeal.
What's up?
Heard the good news says damn who's this sexy man?
I know. Who's this sexy man? Whoever denies me is losing a good shot at me. Baby.
Heard the good news says I lost. MBCZR says I am a sexy man. MBCZR says oh he's gone. Jimmy Opa says hi Steph. MBCZR says hi Jimmy. Work_day says on my stomach.
I was thinking about eating inside with y'all, but I changed my mind. I'll just eat over here with y'all. I'm a sexy man. Oh, he's gone. I mean, if you're a sexy man, then I'm a sexy man too. Or a sexy woman, I am, I guess. Hope you feel better. Yeah,
MBCZR says Mura.
MBCZR is a doctor, by the way. Emergency medical. Is emergency medical only ERs? Or it could be other spots? Like urgent care? Is urgent care emergency or not? Probably not.
Boxiller says, damn cuh, why you always eating out now, fatty? MR Peggy Hill says, when you wake up each morning, are you excited and motivated, or do you dread being a slave to capitalism?
I mean, if I was a capitalist, I would not be enslaved. Lord.
Mommy Give Me Milk says, do you have the 1700 to snip your balls?
I had cravings for this, so I had to do it. Make strong cravings for it.
Jimmy Opa says, you gotta save money or small PP surgery.
Small PP surgery?
Heard the good news says, holy, that looks good.
Yeah, it's expensive too. Like, definitely more expensive than the ones I usually get. It's a little bit more expensive, not much, a couple dollars more.
Mommy Give Me Milk says, yeah, let's be real, you're not getting to 170 with the way you've been eating.
Why?
MR Peggy Hill says, how much was it? Work _ day says, at least you have an appetite right now, that's good. Boxiller says, this is definitely good for your diabetes.
Thank you.
Zero self-control, diabetes by December. Doug 714 says, fight the craving. Jimmy Opa says, no Thai tea. Thai tea is so good.
What's Thai tea?
MR Peggy Hill says, did you do takeout to avoid paying tips? That's smart.
No. I don't want to. It's weird.
Downward Dog GGO says, start shoveling.
So it's weird.
Mommy Give Me Milk says, once you get diabetes, your small PP is going to not work for sure.
So for example, what if
Work _ day says, what's Thai tea? Jimmy Opa says, guy does not know what Thai tea is.
So for example, if I wanted to eat in, right, I can't just call ahead and tell them, can I order ahead of time to eat in? Can't do that, obviously. So I do takeout. I could either, if I do pick up my food, right, I could probably just ask them if there's a free table. I could just probably eat there, honestly. But I'm streaming. It'll feel. It's not popular spot, anyways. I mean, I just think it'll be easier here because it's more quiet and we could talk in peace. It's a lot more louder in there. Not a lot more loud, but it's a little bit more louder.
Time for lunch sounds yummo.
Yummo.
Boxiller says, gift wrapped is crazy work.
What's gift wrap, boy?
Boxiller says, the tape.
Oh.
Downward Dog GGO says, you should wear that caution tape everywhere. MR Peggy Hill says, pad thai for 25 is crazy, especially for lunch.
No, I got this too.
Downward Dog GGO says, guess the lemon in it cut.
It's cost $7. It's half price
Work
sushi.
_ day says, I mean, the portion is pretty large though.
Yeah, it's large. No, this costs about $16.
Downward Dog GGO says, squeeze the lime on it, bro.
I did.
Work _ day says, 25 for both isn't bad.
Yeah.
Jimmy Oba says, is that mask new?
I couldn't find a new one. I mean, it might be somewhere in the car. I was just lazy.
Boxiller says, damn fatty, you really saying fuck it to the diabetes? Have you just accepted it at this point? Insulin Andy.
No. But I got cravings for pad thai.
Jimmy Opa says, blow on it, daddy.
I wouldn't.
Work underscore day says I mean.
What's up, Herd?
TBH being skinnier doesn't get girls. Work underscore day says if a girl is into you, she'll be into you. Downward dog GGO says diabetes god.
But I don't really have the type of personality most women would like anyways.
Jimmy Opa says so 6-pack by TwitchCon.
Yeah. I'll bring a 6-pack.
Mommy Give Me Milk says Cheffy doesn't have the aura to get girls. Needs to stick to guys. Work underscore day says I'm cutting right now. And I look better to myself, but I'm pretty sure girls don't see me differently.
Well.
Downward dog GGO says, are you detailing cars?
Yeah. Yeah, I am.
Doug 714 says fat people look greedy lol.
What? Greedy? You want some? I always offer to share when someone's near me. Like, you ask the Samoan Ninja, I'm pretty sure I offered him food when I was in Vegas.
Work underscore day says, well, some people do have a perception that fat people don't have self-control. Work underscore day says, but that is a personal opinion.
Yeah. No, some fat people have self-control. I mean, some skinny people have no control.
Bogziller says Andy is greedy, hence the max ads and not sharing with his mother.
Well. I can't share this with my mom. It has to be completely seasonless.
Work underscore day says correct. It's not a fair assessment. Bogziller says Andy just admitted to having no self-control. He had to give in to his cravings. MBCZR says lightsaber.
Mine's at home. Do you have one as well? Steph?
MR Peggy Hill says fuckfest 2.0 when?
No. I mentioned last night.
Work underscore day says like my buddy who is at like 14% body fat right now despises fat people. It's a mental thing. MBCZR says Bob. MBCZR says no. It's another example of your poor self-control.
What?
MBCZR says Apple Watch. Downward dog GGO says fuckfest when?
You have an Apple Watch. Don't lie to me. I know you do. Yours is way bigger than mine. Yours it's an $800 version. It costs way more than mine.
Work underscore day says, but overeating is so nice.
No, it's not.
Bogziller says, doesn't fuckfest 1.0 have to happen for 2.0?
No, I think because I
Downward
failed
dog
at it,
GGO
that's why.
says dude has no money, still buys an Apple Watch. MR Peggy Hill says she can afford an Apple Watch. MBCZR says yeah, but I didn't impulse purchase it. And it wasn't 800, you're assuming again.
No,
Mommy Milk says Steph's is bigger than Andy's confirmed.
I looked into
Bogziller
it
says
myself.
that she doesn't live in squalor.
Because I wanted the bigger one. And it said 800 for me. I don't know if it was the 10 you're looking at, or you got the 9 or whatever. I don't know what version. I was looking at the 10, and it said 800.
Work underscore day says Apple Watch is a health investment if you use it right.
Exactly. Oh!
Work underscore day says, did you really splash soy sauce everywhere?
Yes.
MBCZR says mine's not a big one. And it's not an Apple Watch.
It's bigger than
10.
Mine.
Mommy Give Me Milk says KEK.
Yours is bigger than
Jimmy
mine.
Opa says disgusting CIH.
It's bigger than mine.
Work underscore day says dang that is brutal.
Yeah.
Bogziller says karma. Downward dog GGO says good thing you know a detail guy. Mommy Give Me Milk says mofo you got sushi too. You eat too much. Jimmy Opa says, well, yours is small. Downward Dog GGO says, your Apple Watch is already obsolete. Ready to upgrade. MBCZR says, bro, my wrist is 20 times smaller than yours. Of course it's going to look bigger than yours.
Really?
MBCZR says, you fucking. Work_day says, do you use your phone to look at the Apple Watch data anyway? Like a bigger screen.
Yeah.
Mommy give me milk says, you fucking.
No. I'm not fucking.
MR Peggy Hill says, Andy, I'm having a sale on my life coach sessions. Instead of $599 per month, it is now $499 for 3 weeks. That's $100 savings. You should sign up. MBCZR says, hi Senti Daddy.
Shut up, son. Sitting a single score apprentice. How's the day going? You been going any dates recently, Sentless? I heard Steph lives in
Opa
LA
says,
now.
did you clean the soy sauce?
Heard
Jimmy Opa says, show scentless.
I heard Steph lives in
Work
LA now.
_day says, be honest. Are you gonna clean that soy sauce later?
No.
Downward Dog GGO says, poor guy lost an underscore. Bogziller says, remember chat, if you buy Andy any Christmas presents, it should be money for a test strips for his blood sugar machine. MBCZR says, I budget and I take months to decide before making a big purchase. Don't fucking start with me, Cheppy. MR Peggy Hill says, are you dipping it in the spilled dirty soy sauce?
Yes.
Scentless _apprentice says, yeah, Steph and I should collab.
That'd be good content. Show her around K-Town. Oh, so much mess here.
MR Peggy Hill says, scientists should introduce MBC to Dayhigh.
What's Dayhigh?
Downward Dog GGO says, WHJAT was Wilkes-Barre like on Saturday Andy.
Hmm? Well. Hmm. Hmm. When he's finding out, you know. Is it top secret? I don't have that much soy sauce.
Downward Dog GGO says, what was Wilkes-Barre like on Saturday?
What's that? What's the treasure?
Downward Dog GGO says, Saturday. Mommy give me milk says 27th.
Mm. Mm. 27. Will you come to my Freedom barbecue in July? You're more than welcome to join Freedom Barbecue. I'll be at a local park. I don't know what happened on Saturday. The protest.
MR Peggy Hill says, besides corn, streaming, and food, what else are you addicted to?
Pussy.
Downward Dog GGO says, it'd rather visit Hitch in Norway.
Sorry.
Work _day says, who are you inviting? All your coworkers.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to invite them. I mean, I maybe not, because I don't want them to know about stream. They know I stream, but I don't tell my channel. So I would invite them, but I don't want them to get tainted by chat.
Restreambot says, YouTube. Mikey Ungalo, Andy, guess how much I'm up today on trading. Downward Dog GGO says,
3,000.
invite a few news ladies to your barbecue.
I'm not really close with anyone at the news station. I only work 2 days, and not many people work on the weekends.
Downward Dog GGO says maybe they will get a whiff of what the chefy is cooking. CM_NYC says take it off slow and steady. MR Peggy Hill says but you haven't had pussy for a decade.
A plant? What's your point? By choice. I'm trying to be full.
Restreambot says YouTube. Mikey Ungalo close. I'm up 15K so far.
That's a lot more than I expected. I'm full.
Jimmy Oba says by choice.
Yeah. You want me to explain it? Okay. I'll explain it again. Okay. So, in 2010, I decided, well, my last girlfriend was in 2008, I think, or something like that. I dumped her ass, and, because she wasn't being affectionate, and she was using me for the house. Dumped her ass, she moved out. I decided 2 years later or so, let's focus on a hobby. That hobby was photography. I opened a business in 2010 on photography and hyper focus on that, and that's it. I just didn't look back. I didn't care about the dating or whatever, or girlfriends, because it's always drama. I didn't want to deal with that. So I just basically hyper focus on just photography for a solid 8 years straight. Almost every single day was just about photography. Every single day. When I get hyper focused on shit, it's hyper focused. That's it. I neglect everything else. So yeah, I didn't give a shit. My only focus was being the best of the best photographer on the planet. That was my focus. That's it.
Jenny says, where can I see your photos?
Let's see. Let me see. I could show you something now. You won't be able to see it that well on here.
Peggy Hill says, hi Jenny. I'm here for Warcraft Andy. Bogziller says, including hygiene. Restreambot says, YouTube. Santa, take glasses off or something, maybe you're blind.
I am blind.
CM_NYC says, well, that story was cool.
Really? Some people say that story is not cool because apparently you're supposed to live life on a balance. I can't live life on a balance. For me, that's not living. For me.
Jimmy Oba says you hyper-focused and look at you now.
Yeah, I know.
Work_day says the last time I hyper-focused my life flew by, but it paid off financially.
Yeah, I just hyper-focused on the wrong industry. That's it. I invested in too much on the wrong industry. Let's see.
Bogziller says it's not cool. He was being sarcastic, bozo.
CM sarcastic? He has sarcasm? I didn't know that. That's shocking.
Work_day says the question is, would you hyper-focus again? Bogziller says they def gave Andy 4 pairs of chopstick for all that food.
Hyper-focus on what? Here's one.
Work_day says like something else. Would you hyper-focus again? CM_NYC says I have everything, you dumb. CM_NYC says I'm a god.
It's Lily. She's been on the stream before.
Crispy Jenny says, what kind of cameras did you have?
Only
Crispy
Canon.
Jenny says, so many girls.
I mean, yeah, I focused on women's fashion. That was my focus. Other focus is like headshots and portrait editorials. I used T2i. Canon T2i was my first. Then it was Canon.
Peggy Hill says everyone is a photographer nowadays with these cell phones.
Canon 6D is my current and my last one I had. I've been using it for 10 years because I can't afford to upgrade it.
Crispy Jenny says women's fashion. Peggy Hill says in DSLRs.
Lily again. It's one of my favorite shots. But
Jimmy Opa says looks like Instagram pictures.
I can't really show you the logo. She was one of my muses. Natalie.
Restaurant says YouTube. Mikey Ungolo, Steph is a tripod. Snooze Fighting says women's fashion Andy. MR Peggy Hill says you should start taking pics of guys.
Why?
MR Peggy Hill says do something different.
I do have guys.
Give me milk says to Mama SMI Muse.
I do have guys. I'm just showing the ones from that's female. My female portfolio.
MR Peggy Hill says preferably guys with their shirts off.
Do you want
Snooze
to?
Fighting says can CM be your muse?
I'll show you the guys.
Bogziller says Andy only does shirtless men.
Let's see. Where are the guys? I don't have that much guys, but let's see. No, why don't let me?
CM_NYC says you piss me off, Andy. Endless_apprentice says start dating dudes and you won't need to pay for a vasectomy. MR Peggy Hill says you can oil the guys up. Bogziller says one time I tuned in and Andy had some dude shirtless and bent over for pics. Shit was wild. Mommy Give Me Milk says you piss me off, Andy.
Why?
Rinson says hi, Cheffy. CM_NYC says I don't like your energy.
Why?
Rinson says tie for the raid yesterday.
No problem. It's Christian.
MR Peggy Hill says I thought photographers hooked up with their muses. Why didn't you?
I'm a
Jimmy
professional.
Oba says when are you going to lock in Ka?
I'm a professional.
CM_NYC says cause you think I am stupid and I have nothing.
What? Talking about? This is like the first shoot I had with Christian. He was one of my male muses. Christian. Can't tell. There. This is for the ladies in chat. Or the certain guys in chat. That's it. I don't have that many guys on my portfolio.
Crispy Jenny says OMG. Mommy Give Me Milk says Sue's pick. MR Peggy Hill says CM has a switch. You have no switch, Andy. Work_day says Work_day says that was weird.
What was weird? Headshots.
Rinson says sussy. Restreambot says YouTube. Mikey
Christian.
Ungolo Pog thank you. Great pictures. Work_day says sussy. Bogziller says why do you keep those pics in your phone?
It's,
You gauge Ka.
it's my portfolio. So if I'm showing it to a client, I
MR
need
Peggy Hill
it.
says did you ask any of the guys to take off their pants?
No.
CM_NYC says you mod abuse last night.
No. Not mod abuse. Chatter was being disrespectful. That's why. It's not mental abuse. It's called proper moderation.
Restreambot says, YouTube. Mikey Ungolo, wait, did you answer my question about whether or not you're getting the vasectomy?
Yeah, I am.
Restreambot says, YouTube. Mikey Ungolo, do you goon in your car on brakes, or have you ever gooned in your car before?
No.
Crispy Jenny says, oh Cheffy, did you buy an ATM?
No, not yet.
420 Aquafina says, do people ever confuse you for Javier Bardem?
No, I don't know that person.
Jimmy Opa says, maybe see if the local high school is looking for a photographer.
I can't afford a ATM
Bobby
right now.
Give Me Milk says, mod abuse Andy. Bob Miller says, it's called being a snowflake. MR Peggy Hill says, did you take off your pants during any of the photo shoots?
No. Birria. Pizza.
Restreambot says, YouTube. Mikey Ungolo, what was the answer? Did you replied yes to get a vasectomy or yes to answering me question about it?
Oh,
CM
I'm gonna get it, yeah.
NYC says, now take this, Andy.
It's
Crispy Jenny says, why are you getting a vasectomy? Is it reversible? Work_day says NGL that photo of the guy putting his pants on was cray. MR Peggy
Let me answer
says,
it.
did you know that I don't wear anything?
Let me answer it in a serious way, because like I know Crispy Jenny is not a fucking troll. That's why. And I answered it a million times in a serious way, and a lot of people were just trolling me about my answer, but she wasn't here to listen to it. So I'm getting a vasectomy. I always wanted a vasectomy since I was like 20 years old, and I'm 40 now. I didn't get one originally because the copay itself would have cost me at least $1,000. I couldn't afford that back then. But now I think even with insurance, I think they told me I could do payments onto it. I don't have to give all up front, which is fine. I could do that. They're very flexible. So I can get one today. I rescheduled already next month. I'm getting it. It's because I have no interest in building a family. My life goals and my lifestyle goals are not aligned with having a baby. So if I have a baby, I have to stop all my goals in order to make sure I take care of the baby. Or become like my dad and be an absent father, which I don't want to be an absent father at all. So that's why I want to have a vasectomy where I'm guaranteed, like 99.99%, not to have my own baby. And that baby will be it's like a loaded gun, Crispy Jenny. It's a loaded gun to like life goals and dreams that you have for yourself and you strive to work on. Once you have a child, an unintentional child, an oopsie, that loaded gun shoots those dreams almost entirely. Granted, some people still go for the dreams either way. Some people use that as motivation, which is granted, that's them. But the thing is, like, they have more foundation and more resources to do that. I don't have like a giant family, like a rich family, or a giant savings account I could fall on. I just don't have that. So like, if I have a child unplanned, like any dream and goals, like big goals of mine, where it requires a lot of risk and a lot of time to invest into, I won't be able to work on that at all. I would have to just work a shitty job until that child is out of college or whatever. And then that's not the life I want to live. So basically, a vasectomy would allow me the freedom to do what I want, not what everyone else wants, and my own goals and my own dreams, and work on that, and that's it. And that's why the power of the vasectomy, it gives me that power and ability to work on that. No, I mean, if I had some, a little bit here and there interest of having my own kid. When I say my own kid, it doesn't have to be my own blood. If I had the urge to be a father, it's gonna be when I'm very, very financially set, obviously, and I'll adopt. That's it. I'll just adopt, and it's gonna be. I don't want to deal with like super young. I'll adopt probably like 8, 9, 10, 11, those ages or whatever. I don't want to deal with a newborn, and obviously I would have to have a partner as well.
Once you have a vasectomy, you think you easily have sex all the time.
So I'm gonna read what Crispy's Jenny is saying. There's like so much going on. Yeah. Sorry. I apologize. Let's see. So, what if you hit a big as an entrepreneur? No, that's what I mean. For example, if I get an opportunity to have intercourse with anyone and have an oopsie, I won't ever become an entrepreneur, like a successful one. I'll either keep doing what I'm doing now or be in a lot worse shape where I'm required to work at factories for the rest of my life, and that's not a life I want to work at. I would not be happy. But I have no interest in having children of my own. I'll adopt when I have a couple $1 million in the bank, or a couple $1 million in assets or whatever. There's two things. Obviously, two things that most women would not like me is I don't want to build a family. I don't believe in marriage at all. Those are two major components most women they want to do, obviously, generally speaking. Granted, it could be very bad if they find out if I have a vasectomy, they would not be happy. Because obviously most women want to bear their own children. So like, it's gonna be much more difficult to find a partner, obviously. But the only partner I want, honestly, is someone who wants to do something similar like me, travel the world, and until the day they die, just travel the world. That's the right partner. I'll just travel the world, literally until I'm too old to walk. Just travel. Let's travel, and like soak up every little ounce of the planet. That's what I want to do. And having a partner who's obsessed with like traveling, like as much as I am, that's the partner I want. And if they're obsessed with traveling, you should not want to have children, because it's an unstable lifestyle where you're gonna travel the world and have a kid. You just can't take care of a kid like that. It's not the proper way. If I had a kid, travel will not happen that often, because stability is very important to have that kid, build the foundation around them, friends and shit like that. But if you're traveling like every 2 weeks to like a new country or a new state or whatever, that's not good. That's very unhealthy for the kid. And traveling is tiring? Not for me. I love traveling, and everyone complains about going to the airport and shit like that. I love it. I'm excited when I go to the airport. I'm excited. Fuck it. Let's go in, balls deep, into the airport, and I love it. Granted, I wish I wasn't so scared of like approaching strangers and stuff. I'll talk to random people at the airport if I wasn't so scared, because I love traveling. But yeah, the only exception that those two major things that I'll make an exception to only marriage, if it's the love of my life and they really 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 wanted me to marry them, I'll bend to the knee on that, and that's it. But not to have not to have my own kid with my own blood. No. I mean, if they want to like have someone else's semen into them, I don't care. It's not my problem. Like, injected into them and inseminated. I prefer not to have deal with like a newborn. I don't have the kind of time to deal with a newborn. What? What do you mean, what? No, you go to the doctor, you get inseminated. Huh? You would have married the last two people you talked to? I don't know what you mean. I have no context.
Sick Reality says please buy a new mask before you spawn another illness. Strawberry MLK says how. It's not hard to understand.
Wait, you said
MBCZR says you can't
you
get
would-
hard and you can't get women, so what are
you
the
would
chances
have
you
married
get
the last
someone
two people you
pregnant?
talked to.
CM_NYC says
Which the last two people I talked to? At work? The last two people I talked to was at work. I talked to like 7 people today. 8 people today, probably. Can you specify the last two people I talked to? You can't get hard. It's Steph said I can't get hard, and you can't get women. So what are the chances you could get someone pregnant? If someone came up, like walked up to me right now, and they asked me to fuck them right here, right now, I would do it. Will I get hard instantly? Probably not. But if I drove to my house, you know, spent maybe an hour or so warming up, then yes, you're correct. I mean, I guess. Jesus. When you say talk, Strawberry, you didn't mean that kind of talk. You should have said, not literally talk. I thought you meant literally talk. I mean, adventures, we didn't talk about in marriage at all. We were close, but we weren't that close, me and Adventures. I gotta get back to work. We have like 10 minutes to get back.
Restreambot says YouTube. Mikey Ungalo, the whole chat understood what Barry meant.
I have no idea.
MR Peggy Hill says it's okay upbeat into guys Andy. Homosexuality is no longer frowned upon.
What?
Downward Dog GGO says don't disparage Andy Dick. He's a very reasonable actor. Mommy Give Me Milk says PLZ buy a new mask for fuck's sake. Bogziller says what would this hour of warming up consist of?
Well,
Jimmy
I don't instantly get hard. I don't have that instant option. Oh no. I don't have that instant option. I can someone now refund sick, please? I have to drive back to work. We should I want to disable it during lunch because lunch is like a 1 hour stream, so that's it. I can't afford more than an hour. Let me head back to work. Let me shove these down my throat. Hold on. Is that true, Mott? I don't get hard that quick. I get hard when I make out with them, yeah. But for some reason, like, kissing is a lot more difficult. What's up, Sam?
Saddam X Sam says yo.
Yo.
Jimmy Opa says Andy needs a story like
Make
stepsister
out.
getting stuck in the washer. Matt's Heart says make up. MBCZR says stop talking with your mouth full nasty fucker.
I like having a mouth full.
Strawberry MLK says kissing. Saddam X Sam says Jeffy gets hard on me. Work_day says
kissing
well I
is
wouldn't
my
understand since I'm a
kryptonite.
virgin. MR Peggy Hill says you should look at pics of me. You will get rock hard. Jimmy Opa
What?
says stop talking with your mouth full nasty fucker. Downward Dog GGO says bro, on a scale of 1 to 100, 100 being the most, how much self-respect do you have? Matt's Heart says stepsister. Jimmy Opa says dude that masks looks like you shit on it.
I do.
Matt's Heart says close your mouth.
It's closed now. We're gonna talk.
Matt's Heart says any ice cream today.
No.
New diet. Generous says lol.
I'll die. How?
Matt's Heart says poop mask.
Poop mask.
driving lesson.
How was it?
Matt's heart says license soon copium.
Copium. You're gonna be an old man like me. At least you're gonna get it before you're 40.
MBCZR says Crumpcraft handy.
No.
Matt's heart says electric BMW M series.
Electric? That sounds disgusting.
Matt's heart says I can drive. MR Peggy Hill says if you came out of the closet, I would still be here for you.
I'm not in the closet.
Sick Reality says Matt's can drive.
Not yet. Not legally. He's working on his license right now. Moss, can you look for someone in our circle?
Brinson says hybrid BMW is nice.
Can you look for someone in our
Matt's
circle?
heart says electric is a standard here.
Oh, that's nuts. We should have that here, but it's not. What is this crazy
Matt's
person
heart
doing?
says highest electric car adoption in the world. Bob Ziller says Crumpcraft handy.
Moss, can you look for someone within our circle to raid?
Matt's heart says I'm on phone.
Why are you on phone?
Matt's
Does it
heart
work?
says just raid Hitch.
No, Hitch does not give a shit. If I was like 1,000, then maybe, but I don't have 1,000.
Brinson says electric cars are not the worst for commuting. Sick Reality
I
says
know.
I met Hitch once.
I met Hitch a couple times at TwitchCon.
Matt's heart says I'm on bus.
Yeah, I'm bus.
Matt's heart says I met Hitch 3 times.
Did you meet him in Norway? In Norway? There were a lot more viewers than I expected, actually.
Sick Reality says I met Hitch as he passed through NC.
NC. How did you meet him? Did you snipe him?
Sick Reality says I sniped him.
Oh.
MR Peggy Hill says how often do you use the poop stick?
Did you like do him?
Doug714 says when are you retiring?
Okay.
MBCZR says okay bye I am going on a date.
Alright.
Matt's heart says
Good
92.7%
luck,
of all cars
Seth.
bought in Norway are electric.
Good luck, Steph.
Sick Reality says enjoy your date.
I hope you find your love
Matt's
of
heart
your life.
says I met Hitch in Oslo, Trondheim and San Diego.
Hope you meet your love of your life. Okay, now she's gone. Now you can talk shit.
Matt's heart says okay bye I am going on a date.
Okay, guys, congratulations. Anyways. Yeah, I'm getting my vet said to me.
Saddam X Sam says okay bye I am going on a date.
Okay,
CM
congratulations.
_NYC says I have no time for love of the life and shit. Matt's
You don't
heart
have
says
time?
okay bye I am going on a date.
How you not have time?
CM _NYC says I build different. Saddam X Sam says okay bye I am going on a date.
How you not have time?
Matt's heart says I have no time for love of the life and shit.
How do you have no time? I mean, Sam, it's a different story. With CM, you're unemployed. You don't have a
Saddam X
business.
Sam says I have no time for love of the life and shit.
You're getting an arranged marriage, and you're gonna stream it, right, Sam?
MBCZR says I have no time for love of the life and shit. Strawberry MLK says I have no time for love of the life and shit.
I thought you already have one.
Brinson says I have no time for love of the life and shit.
I thought, well, I
Matt's
don't
heart
know.
says called out. Matt's heart says they installed the toilet incorrectly and the poopy water would go through the wall and create mold. So the contractor told her to cut a hole to prevent mold. Instead of replacing the toilet, his mom told him when he takes a big dump to use a stick to break up the poop. CM_NYC says I am not interested in relationships and stuff. They take away your space. I want my own space.
Jesus
Saddam
Christ.
X Sam says streaming the day I lose my virginity so chat can backseat.
Jesus. You're gonna stream it on Chatterbait or something? One of those websites? I mean, you told me you're not a virgin. What are you talking about? You're the opposite of a virgin. You're a man slut, Sam. Right? would be a manslaughter too.
CM_NYC says, I wish you have a mindset like me, Andy.
No, thank you.
MR Peggy Hill says, how often do you use the poop stick?
Any mods? Any mods in chat?
X Sam says, I am.
What? You say you went? Are you a virgin in Saudi Arabia, but in US you're not a virgin? I think you fucked a lot in Kansas, like 50 women or something like that. So you're a virgin in Saudi Arabia then?
Sick Reality says, chat, what is a woman? Are they like grass? Is it a myth to touch them?
Yeah, it's a myth. You're not allowed to touch them. You need a permission.
Saddam X Sam says, 1 body per hour.
What do you mean by 1 body per hour? In Kansas? Oh, you mean like in general?
Sick Reality says, only an hour. Matt's Heart says, body or corpse.
Mods, can you try to raid? I know you're on the phone.
CM_NYC says,
Raid
well,
extremely
maybe
subtle.
I want a girlfriend, but to find the right one is hardest part, so that's why I say those things.
Well, yeah, it's in the world. As guys, you approach the woman and court them. I guess that's just how it is, for the most part.
Matt's Heart says, I've tried many times, it never works.
What do you mean? Oh, can you type his name for me?
MR Peggy Hill says, do you prefer boobs, ass, or legs?
A face, then ass. My face guy more. Someone type extremely subtle into the chat, please.
CM_NYC says, that is reality, Andy, we just gotta face it.
Well, yeah, this is reality. Or they approach strangers in public. I don't like doing that. It feels weird. I don't feel comfortable.
Sick Reality says, I get hard when a girl says hi to me, Mets.
Oh, that's true. Eventually, the hormones would die down for months.
MBCZR says, it's okay. I've never had a girlfriend either.
Really? You don't go both ways? Or you only go one way? There we go. I didn't spell his name. The end. He better not have ended.
No, I didn't.
MBCZR says, this is the 3rd time you've asked me this.
I don't remember now. Sorry. You never answered. I don't think you answered ever. You never answered the question. I can't paste.
MBCZR says, I did the first time.
I don't remember. Extremely subtle. I get it. Copy paid message, please. So we're back on for gaming tonight. We'll do a little bit of gaming. Join my Discord, please. That's where the community is hanging out and touching me all day, every day. You guys could touch me all you like on the Discord if you want, you know?
Sick Reality says you should listen to women when they talk to you.
The thing is that when women talk to me, they expect me to get on my knees and say, yes, mommy, or yes, queen, or yes, princess. I don't like that bullshit. I just treat them as equals, that's it. Some women are like that, not all of them.
Sick Reality says him.
You know?
Matt's Heart says 66 God. Saddam X Sam says yes, mommy. MR Peggy Hill says, but you're a soy boy.
I'm not. You should say that to Helga, Sam. You should say that to Helga, Sam. She'll love that. Say yes, mommy. She'll love you so much for that. I promise you. She'll give you gifted subs even if you say yes, mommy. It'll be hilarious reaction though. I want to see it.
Saddam X Sam says Helga is yes father.
No, say yes
Sick
about
reality
me.
says
say,
I don't
say
rate.
yes about me. Why? Why? Raid with me. We're raiding right now. Raid.